Hello everyone, it's Leon here. Now obviously GTA 5 Trailer 2 has been released. I've been going through it. I've got a big page of notes here, a couple of pages of notes I should say, looking at various bits I found and things I've noticed. This opening shot is interesting. It's San Andreas' version of the Griffin Observatory, known as the Los Santos Observatory. It's a famous landmark that's been seen in things like Rebel Without a Cause. I think it's in Charlie's Angels 2. But the most interesting thing here is that you can see the whole of sort of Los Santos stretching off into the distance. They've claimed that GTA 5 is bigger than Red Dead Redemption, San Andreas and GTA 4 combined. And it's a screenshot like this that makes you sort of believe that actually they might be telling the truth. If we move on, this we've seen this place before. This is Michael, one of the three main characters. This is his mansion, if you like. He has apparently done a deal with the FIB, which is GTA's version of FBI, that has apparently left him very well off, very sort of wealthy. He talks about how he played the game and he got out of it alive. Clearly, whatever he's done is paid off a lot of money. The song in the trailer is Stevie Wonder's Skeletons from a 1987 album called Characters, and the opening line is "Skeletons in your closet, itching to get inside," which maybe suggests, as Michael is talking about getting out of the game, that he's got some dodgy things in his past, possibly it might come back, but they are how he's paid for basically such a nice house. This is interesting because this car and another one like it later almost look like that's an Audi sign on the front of the bonnet there. I don't think it is, but it suggests it's like a step closer maybe to licensed vehicles. There's another car we'll look at later that's extremely interesting. Now here we can see Amanda and his daughter Tracy. We know that Michael and Amanda do not get on at all. They're basically kind of stuck together because of the witness relocation scheme that he's on. She basically goes and spends his money. They basically can't stand the sight of each other. There's a joke in the demo that's been shown off that she says that Michael has to find her by checking his credit card statements, and he says, "I'm feeling lucky, I'll check the hospitals." Tracy, we know, doesn't like him either. She's sort of openly hostile to him in the few times that he's appeared. But you can see inside the house, very nice house. Here we see Michael, who talks about how he's been in the game quite a few years. So this is Trevor. This is Michael's best friend. We heard him saying there that the guns and crank go through Trevor Phillips Enterprises. He lives in a place called Blaine County. It's described as this kind of dust bowl, nowhere town. He's obviously like a local hood there, as we can see from some of the stuff that goes on. He mainly polices it through kind of violence rather than any kind of business kind of acumen. I don't know whether that move is like a contextual combat move or whether it's just a cutscene. This is a bandit. This is a sand buggy that hasn't appeared since GTA San Andreas. It makes sense from what we know about Blaine County. It's a dusty desert area. It's full of sort of meth heads and trailer parks. So this seems like an ideal vehicle to get around on. It's nice to see it sort of returning from San Andreas. Now there's a bit in a minute where we see a bit more of Trevor's rampage, where he sets his house on fire. That was good. Now the interesting thing here, I'll go through it frame by frame, is how the house sort of comes apart. It feels a bit more like there's a better kind of destruction model here. Not quite, Bad Company, Battlefield kind of stuff, but it does feel like there's a little more kind of give. See Trevor there with a tattoo cut here around his neck. We saw some stuff in his knuckles earlier. He's basically the unhinged character. We'll see some stuff later on that suggests that he's the one that gets all the kind of rampagey, kind of crazy stuff. He's just killed a petrol corp here full of people. Now this is apparently, from what we can tell, the first time that Michael and Franklin meet. So Michael, Franklin and Trevor are the three main characters in the game. Here Franklin's friend is asking him for directions for this beach house, which is basically the big yellow thing behind him, and it looks like it's the first time they've got together. We know that Franklin is ambitious, wants to get ahead and potentially sees Michael and whatever Michael's involved in as a way of getting forward. Maybe that's how they get together. Now this is another car with an almost Audi-like symbol on the front. Franklin's job basically is a repo man, which means he gets all sorts of cars to repossess. I'd imagine that's going to be a lot of automotive kind of based missions on his part. Now this girl here, let's just get to it, is either a sister or an ex-girlfriend. I'll just rewind this back actually, you can hear what she has to say. She basically says, I don't care how many cars you own, you ain't changing. The house doesn't look like the kind of place Franklin would live in maybe at the beginning of the game, so either, I reckon, what's happening here is either she's a sister or a girlfriend that lives a slightly better lifestyle in a nicer house, or this is a little way into the game where Franklin's stolen a few cars, hence I don't care how many cars you own. He's bought his way into a slightly nicer lifestyle and maybe he's trying to win her back or prove that he's not a bad person anymore. The car that's coming up in a moment, we'll see a car carrier being stolen. They're dropping cars off. There's a really interesting car, so I'm just going to get to this bit here and go through it frame by frame, because this looks a lot like an Aston Martin DB5, the James Bond car. Now it's previously appeared in GTA London, the old PS1 game, more of an expansion pack I think, and it was called the James Bomb then. Now we saw the Audi cars that had Audi-like logos. You can sort of see there that logo on the front is the right kind of shape for the Aston Martin logo, but it's not got the detail in it. It's just a black shape. So whether or not this is a licensed Aston Martin or not, I can't really tell here, but the fact that it is, either that or the James Bomb is quite exciting. It's a good thing to see back.
Oh, cool. What? Swinging those form of games. Your son, James.
This is quite interesting, just purely because of the level of detail on the face. It's not quite LA Noire, but there's a humanity to the character that I don't remember really seeing much of in GTA 4. Now, no idea what's going on here, to be honest, but it looks like there's a lot more interesting missions compared to, say, GTA 4. GTA 4 had a lot of, go places, kill people things. We've got Franklin on the left here, and Jimmy somehow on a boat being driven down the road, swinging out on a boom. Now, there's a red car there, and I'm wondering if we just play it forward. So I don't know who that's in that red car, but it possibly is Michael. We see him coming. Oh, it's a Sentinel. You can see it's a Sentinel on the back of that car. We see it zooming in behind just as the boom or the mast swings out. So there, yeah, looks like Michael coming in, a Sentinel, and rescuing Jimmy. This is Jimmy. This is the character previously mentioned in the leaked casting stories that came out I think last year, described as Kevin. He's the pot smoking, COD playing, slightly racist, soft son. They don't really get on. There seems to be sort of they seem to be sort of affectionate here. There's a lovely line where he says, "Let's bounce," and he goes, "Is that what we do now?" Let's take that back actually so I can hear it in completion. Here's more Trevor basically being a complete crazy psycho kind of character. He's clearly not one of those kind of lovable, nice, murderous psychos. He's the stamp on the body till it's dead and then keep stamping on it kind of psycho. What is interesting here is I'm guessing that one of these three people here, sort of flinching and looking on in horror, is Ron, another character we know. Let's take that back. Yeah, so one of these characters, I suspect maybe the one on the left is Ron. Now he's the paranoid conspiracy theory trailer park neighbour that Ron has. He's sort of his best friend. We don't know anything really about him other than the fact that he's paranoid, he's conspiracy theory, but I suspect it could be one of these guys here. We just saw briefly there as well the plane. Let's just get back to that. So we know that Trevor has access to planes very early on. It's one of his sort of key things, is you get planes quick. And we can see him here stealing something. There's a big plume of smoke off to the left there. I'm guessing he's just maybe blown something up. It's part of a mission. There's that van just above the right-hand engine. There's a van with a skull and wings logo on that I recognise, but I cannot place, and I can't find anything on it at the moment, so I'll look into that more. You can just see there, in between the engine and the body of the plane as well, someone chasing him with a machine gun, shooting at him. That's what all the sparks are you can see coming off it. We know that the heists play a big part here, so it looks like this plane could be something he's stealing as part of a heist. So this is like a planning mission towards one of the big heists. Speaking of which, here's a heist in action. I think this is the three main characters here blowing up a safe. It looks like a kind of traditional bank job. We could see briefly then a bit more of the slightly more kind of natural destruction going on there, or not, maybe not natural, but a bit more sort of procedural, a bit more kind of realistic. So the door blows off the hinges there. You see the sort of concrete and the rebar coming apart. You see a couple of frames in a second of the door splintering and coming apart. I only mention this kind of stuff because I think it's interesting that a game that is so built around just having a rampage, going for a drive, smashing things, going crazy, the idea of having a bit more of a sort of a procedural, physics-based destruction system can only be a good thing. It can only make sort of the havoc that you're capable of wreaking look more interesting. Now this is, we can see a Pisswasser sign in the back and Clucking Bell poster there, but what I'm more interested in is this dog here. We saw pre-order art of a character we now know is Franklin with a dog. The dog makes a couple of appearances here. Whether he's a sort of an AI companion you can maybe give orders to, or he just sort of follows Franklin around, he's clearly sort of involved. He's not just kind of set dressing. I can't see who that is in the car. That's possibly Franklin there, and a bit more of the dog. Seems to be a kind of car bonnet jumping theme going on here. But you can sort of see expressions on the dog's face. I'm guessing he's a character. He's not just an object. Now this bit here is a mission that GI talked about, where Trevor, Michael, and Franklin have to bust a guy out of I think it's the IAA, is the sort of their version of the CIA. Trevor is flying a helicopter. He abseils down, has to break in, rescue this hostage. Franklin is in one of these buildings to the right, providing sniper cover. If we take it back a bit, you can see there's people in there that talked about how you can sort of see people going around the office and doing work as he dropped down. There's a point during this mission where you smash in through a window, you rescue a guy. You can switch basically between these characters at any time outside of missions. It looks like inside missions you have to wait for an option. So you smash in through a window, you grab the guy you're supposed to steal, and you're given an option to stay as Michael, in which point he engages the agents in the building and has a shootout in the room, or you can switch to Franklin and provide sniper support as Michael makes his escape. This is interesting, where we've seen the jewel heist was a very early thing we saw in trailer 1, where you saw them coming out of a van, jumping into a jewellery shop and robbing the place. We've then seen Pest Control, which was a poster that Rockstar released, again showing off these red overalls and this mask, and now we see Michael smashing open a display case with his gun. Clearly this jewellery heist is a fairly sort of significant moment in the game. It's been referenced now in 3 separate occasions. Motorbikes. Now this bit is interesting. This is a military Mesa Grande Jeep being stolen by, I think, Michael, and in a kind of uncharted way, not Michael, sorry, Trevor, being dropped out of a plane. Again, it's sort of... Oh, excuse me. It suggests more creative missions. It also, again, suggests that kind of huge scale they were talking about, because presumably once you jump out of this thing, you've got to parachute down. So that's quite a long way to drop. Looks like it could be quite a lot of fun. I have no idea where the Jeep ends up. This next bit here, they've spoken about how the characters all will have... There's going to be a lot of activities. There's talk of like yoga and golf and tennis, dirt biking here, obviously. They've spoken about how each character will have a couple of mini games, essentially exclusive to them, where they, it defines their personality, if you like. And it looks like Franklin's is dirt biking. See him there winning. He's kitted out in all the gear. It looks like that's his thing. Getting back to Trevor now, we know he's basically the kind of crazy mad guy, and it looks like he's got the crazy mad missions. We saw him jumping out of a plane earlier. We saw him jumping out of a plane, stealing a plane. Here he's crashing trains together. I'm suspecting that you'll get missions sort of suitable to each character's level. So in Trevor's case, they'll all be crazy. In Franklin's, he's going to be stealing cars. He's going to be trying to work his way up the ladder. Michael is a slightly cooler character. He's been through the mill. He knows what's going on. Potentially, he'll have slightly sort of more, I don't know, heat style, cooler kind of missions. So this is when you see the 3 characters come together. It looks like the mission where they go and kidnap that guy by abseiling down the building is the first time they're together. We know that Michael is doing it under duress. I think the FIB are forcing him to do it for some reason. He ropes in ropes in Trevor, and Franklin join him at this point. And the introduction you obviously saw there means they haven't met before. Here we see a Hydra taking out a couple of helicopters. Clearly Trevor gets to play with a few nicer planes, although in a previously seen screen it looked like Michael was flying the Hydra. So I don't know whether they put him in there just for that screen to keep Trevor secret, or whether he does get to fly as well. It looks like you're helping out someone on the ground here. These choppers seem to be searching for someone on it's like a road down there. And then obviously the chopper comes in. The jet comes in and blows them up. And this bit is, I don't know what this means, I just think it's really funny. It's a really sort of sweet, funny little moment where there's you've got see no evil, speak no evil, and hear no evil. Clearly something has just gone horribly wrong, and they're commiserating in a kind of facepalm style. And yeah, that's it. So those are all the things I found. If you find anything else, stick it in the comments and I'll add it in. I'll put in a few links to the website and some other videos. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'll speak to you guys later.